Hi, everyone. Welcome to Happy to See Me. I'm Erika Casupanan. Now, of course, I always have to start the show by thanking everybody who has supported the podcast so far. It means a lot that you are tuning in and you are listening, so thank you so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're one of those visual people, we are on YouTube. So if you want to watch the interviews on video, we have them on YouTube there. You can check them out. If you haven't already, please follow the podcast on Instagram. The podcast Instagram is @HappyToSeeMePod. That way you can find out about new episodes and the guests first, early, who knows? You'll get them in your feed right away. Okay, today's episode is really sweet. We are talking to my dear pal, Mark Gaetano, who is best known to people as Snarky Marky. Snarky Marky blew up on TikTok a few years ago as Astronomical Boy. You might remember his video that has since become a meme where he talks about the noise on the bus becoming astronomical. And he's such a sweetheart. We get into the difference between the bold, loud, snarky Marky who you see on social media and the more reserved, introverted, and academically focused Mark, who is currently a third-year student. He's actually a student at my alma mater, and that's how we met. We talk about how his TikTok fame has created some challenges in terms of meeting new people on campus, and he reflects on receiving online backlash a few years ago, what he's learned from it, and how he's able to move past it. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. Mark is a sweetheart. Let's get into it. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Erika.
It's so nice to see your face. I feel like being on Survivor, I got to meet so many amazing people, some you wouldn't expect, and I think one of them is definitely you. Mark, so can you tell people just a bit about who you are and what you do?
For sure. So my name is Mark Gaetano. I am 20 years old, and I'm currently a student at Western University here in London, Ontario, Canada. And you may know me from my TikTok. My TikTok handle is Snarky Marky. I was that person who kind of shouted on the bus that the volume was astronomical. That was me. And I have been doing TikTok for a little over 3 years, and it's been such a crazy and fun journey. And I'm super grateful for every single part of it, including opportunities like this.
No, the pleasure is all mine, truly. And for background, for anybody listening, Mark and I are besties.
We are.
After I won Survivor, I was getting tagged in all sorts of stuff. And I got tagged in this TikTok of this young man screaming because I had won. And I had commented on it. I was like, oh, thank you. And then after I showed it to my sister and she's like, oh, this guy is a big deal. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
and then a few months ago, I had the chance to go back to London, Ontario. So I went to the university that Mark is currently attending. And I had a few hours to kill. And I was like, why not just message him? Why not just message him? And we ended up hanging out for hours, going for lunch. And then now I'm obsessed with you.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with you too. I was dying when you sent me that message because I was like, no way that she would want to hang out with me. And it just, all the stars aligned. She came on a Wednesday. I had that whole morning and early afternoon free. No classes then. The stars aligned. It was perfect. Erika treated me to lunch. It was everything.
It truly was. And it's so interesting because on your TikTok, you have this big, loud sense of humor. And then meeting you in person, I found you were just such a sweetheart. So I'm so excited to talk about the two sides of you. I'd love to start with TikTok, your sense of humor. Can you explain kind of where you got this sense of humor and how you developed that voice?
Okay, so I would say that my sense of humor is kind of in between a Gen Z sense of humor and a millennial sense of humor. I love both of the types of humor that are pushed out in content form from both generations. But growing up and stuff, people kind of always told me that my impressions of people, including teachers, teachers' pets, they always found them to be funny. And so when I first downloaded TikTok, I saw a bunch of average everyday people doing impressions of mundane and average people that they come across in their day-to-day lives. And I decided to crack at it and it worked and people liked it.
What did you intend to do with TikTok? Were you always trying to go viral? Were you always trying to build a following, or was it just something fun and creative?
So growing up through middle school and high school, I had always had these YouTubers that I looked up to, and I wanted to do that for work. And I really wanted to be an internet creator. And I had taken my chances with YouTube. I did a vlog here and there, but they never blew up or got any significant numbers. So I saw TikTok as an opportunity to make this short form content that really doesn't require a lot of effort, because on YouTube, it's so time consuming to sit there and edit the video and make sure everything's perfect, make a thumbnail. It takes hours upon hours to make one YouTube video. Whereas with TikTok, they have all the effects, all of the editing built into one. And I thought, this is my golden opportunity. I can make a quick little skit, and it worked. So I didn't intend to go viral, but that's what was in the cards, and I'm forever grateful.
Oh, yeah. I can't hear the word astronomical without thinking of you now.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I don't know. It's been crazy. Every time I hear it, I have to give credit to myself.
Yeah, you created the cosmos, astronomy. That was you.
It was all me. Galileo who?
You're welcome for the stars. So in your TikTok comedy, you kind of go back to a certain group of characters a lot. So who are the types of people you normally play as in your skits?
So in my videos, my main people that I play as are teachers, secretaries, and teachers' pets. And then sometimes I do a little Karen moment, but that kind of intersects with the teacher and the secretary because their personalities kind of overlap. So those are who I mainly do. And kind of just people in school and society who are annoying. That's my and passive aggressive.
Oh, we love that. So what attracted you to wanting to make all of this school-focused content? I know that it's relatable. I mean, you're young, you're still in school, so I know that that's the world that's around you. But is there something else about these characters that you come across that you find humor in?
Honestly, I would say that I'm a pretty observant person, and I pick up on people's mannerisms. And if someone looks at me a certain way or whatever, I note that and try to implement that into my characters and into my videos, because I think it's the small mannerisms that count in addition to the words that you're speaking and the voices that you're doing. So I kind of observe these people. I observe the secretary. I observe the teacher, and I see them doing these little mannerisms and things, and I swallow that and I remember that, and then I produce it into the video.
Were you ever an actor, or did you do drama in school, or were you ever a performer?
So I was in the school play in grades 7 or 8 or 9 or 7 and 8. I can't remember, but I was just an ensemble member. I was not a main role. I didn't have any lines or anything. So I actually almost got kicked out of a play once, but
why?
They said that I had a bad attitude about it. When it was a role that I didn't even sign up for, I wanted to be a different kind of ensemble member, but they assigned me to be one of the wolves in Beauty of the Beast, and I didn't want that. And it wasn't that I was being a bad attitude. Well, maybe I was, but I don't know.
What did you want to be instead? Like a fork?
Well, see, that's the thing. I just wanted to be one of the villagers.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to be one of the villagers because I liked those songs, but I didn't like the wolf scene because it included running, and I didn't run at that time.
There you go. Instead, don't the villagers look down on Belle for reading? So maybe you were like, I want to promote illiteracy.
Right, exactly. They keep my words.
So you were a wolf ensemble. You were the side character. Now that you are on TikTok and the channels are all about you and your humor and your personality, what is that like?
I really enjoy the full creative freedom of it. I like the liberty to be able to make whatever character I want on whatever terms I want. I've had a couple, not a lot, just experiences where I've been reached out to for a casting call and to just audition for a role. And I find it to be very difficult to do because I don't have control of the script. I feel like I can't venture off of the lines that they provide to me. And so honestly, it's really difficult. And I got rejected from all of those, which is fine because honestly, I can't play those roles very well. And if I were to ever be in a show or something, I would want to have a say in what I do and say, just because I really have a hard time following lines and mannerisms that characters that other people create.
I mean, I'm a few years older than you, so I feel like I'm of a different generation. And I feel like for folks like you and folks your age, it's all about having that creative freedom and that creative control. It seems like no one wants to be put in a box.
Exactly. Exactly. And even when it comes, I mean, when I'm making content, just everyday content, I love that creative control. But then also sometimes when you're doing a brand deal or an ad, they put really rigid stipulations on what they want you to say. And I feel like that is just a lose-lose situation because I don't have the creative control. And then you're also not getting an authentic advertisement. People want to see a product being advertised them by their favorite creator in a way that they make content.
Mm-hmm. So I want to ask about that because I used to work in marketing and PR. So I used to hire influencers to do things. And then now I'm on the other side and I'll get brand deals and I'll have to respond to the briefs and stuff. And it's tricky. It's tricky. And now that I see it from the other side, I see how it is hard to take things and make them seem authentic. So what has been your experience in trying to marry the need for you to make money and make a living and then the need for you to create and be authentic?
Yeah. So in the context of those brand deals and stuff, I'm a little bit scared of the corporations sometimes. And I'm just kind of scared because I'm the employee in that sense. So I'm kind of a little bit iffy to speak up about it. But sometimes I'll film a video and I was not given a lot of creative freedom. And in my head, I'm saying, this is not going to do well. This is not really, it's plain and simple. It's not going to do well because it's not what my audience expects of me. So it is kind of tricky in that sense to balance making a living and then doing what I want. So it is definitely hard in that sense, but I also do really appreciate it when I am given the creative control because that's when I feel like the ads do better and people enjoy that a lot more.
Yeah. I haven't been in marketing for a few years now, luckily, but I feel like it's one of those things where whenever a new platform or a new channel comes up, the marketers know that we need to play in there and we know we need to do something. But then even on their end, the loss of control is a bit uncomfortable. And I think that honestly, if you get something and you feel like, I'm not sure, like, I think honestly, it's okay to push back a bit and say, hey, I know the audience. Can I do something a bit outside the lines and see what they say? Some people will say no and some people will be like, I don't know what I'm doing. So like, let's try it. This kid knows.
Yeah. I mean, I think as time goes on, the brands are starting to get a better grasp on the platform of TikTok, which I'm really appreciating because now I feel like they're starting to give more creative control to their employees or the people who are promoting their products. I think it's so important to let the creator have creative control.
Completely. And on the note of brand deals, I read the most adorable and most sweet LinkedIn post from your dad talking about how proud he was to see you doing this and then to see that you were able to build a business and you've become an entrepreneur with your creativity. So what was the initial response from your parents like when you were making content, and how do they feel about things now?
Oh, my parents are the most supportive. Thank God. They were there for me from the start. When I had 200 followers, whenever I would post a video, I would tell my mom, okay, can you go onto the video, like it and share it? Because I believed those kind of algorithm cheat tip things. But as time has gone on, my parents have been super helpful and super good to me in that sense. My dad is basically my dadager. I know they love to use the term momager, but my dad really helps me. My dad was an entrepreneur. He started from the ground up and he's done really well for himself. And I feel like he kind of wanted those entrepreneur values that he had to be passed down to his children. And I think he's really excited that I have these opportunities, and he's excited. He loves seeing me do it, which I'm forever grateful for.
That's so cute. Does he ever see your stuff and he's like, maybe you should be more respectful to teachers for a little bit? Or is he like, no, go for it?
Honestly, he never has any issues with it because he had his experiences with teachers. He was in the TCDSB and I was in the TDSB, Toronto District School Board, versus the Toronto Catholic District School Board. So we kind of have that same understanding of what the teachers are like in those school boards. But he never says anything about it. Although sometimes my dad is in finance. He does mortgages. Sometimes he's like, you should do some financial literacy content. And I go, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's quite my niche, but
yeah,
he's super great to me.
Oh, that's so great that you have the support from him. Now that you have found the success on TikTok, what do you want to achieve on the platform?
So I am super grateful for everything that I've received on the platform thus far. I've gotten, a couple press pieces about me. I was in Paper Magazine. I've gotten to work with a bunch of really cool brands. I feel like I've covered most of the bases, but one thing I really want to do is attend an award show, either as just a guest or to be a correspondent. I feel like that would be such a fun and cool job to be on the red carpet with these celebrities. I've seen a lot of TikTokers make their way to those award shows, and they've been invited by TikTok, the actual award show itself. And I feel that that would be such a cool opportunity and is something that I'm totally striving for.
I could totally see you doing it. I think you would be hilarious on the red carpet.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. It is my absolute dream job.
Oh, to be a red carpet correspondent?
Well, yeah, just to, even if it was a one-time thing, that I could die happy.
Was there a host or was there someone on TV you watched growing up who made you think, oh, that's it. That's what I want to do?
I don't know if it was a host, but I really do like Jeff Probst. I think that he's so clean and perfect with everything. And Arissa from Big Brother Canada, I think she's got it down pat. She's a star.
She's elite. She is the best. I went to one taping of Big Brother Canada and she was amazing.
Oh my gosh. She is a class act. She's got it down pat. She was made for that job. They're so lucky to have her.
Truly, they really are. Okay, I want to jump back to my visit to Western and our day hanging out, because ever since I came off Survivor, every now and then someone will recognize me on the street and say hi. You and I walked around campus maybe for an hour or two, and then we sat down for lunch. And in that time, there were 5 people who came up to us who recognized you. And I'm like, okay, this is just a few people on a Wednesday afternoon. So I want to know, what is it like for you on campus? Are you recognized a lot?
I wouldn't say that I'm super recognized a lot, because a lot of people know that I go there, and I get messages all the time about, I'm part of this club. Do you want to make an appearance? Whatever. So people know that I go here and stuff. But when I'm on campus, I kind of zip around. I'm a fast walker by nature. I need to get to point A to point B fast. And I always just wear sunglasses too, because my eyes get red really easily from the wind. I don't even know. So honestly, I guess that works as a disguise. And I don't get recognized that often, which sometimes in school, I don't like to be, in classes specifically when people, ask for a picture or whatever, because it draws a scene, and then I just, I hate attention. But I don't get recognized all that much on campus.
It's so interesting that you hate attention, because I feel like online, you are making noise, you are loud, you are commanding attention. So is the real life Mark different from Snarky Marky?
Oh, absolutely. I think I channel all of my energy and volume into my videos. But then in my regular life, I am honestly very introverted. I will never be the first person to start a conversation if I don't know the person. I'm really quiet. I don't like to speak up. So honestly, I guess that's the Gemini in me. I don't know all that much about zodiacs, but I do know that there's 2 sides to every Gemini. So I guess that's the Gemini in me.
And it's so Snarky Marky is almost like your Sasha Fierce, your ulterior.
Exactly. I love that comparison.
So when people come up to you in class or people say something, do you think that they're expecting Snarky Marky and then they're surprised to see Mark?
Yes. Actually, it's happened before when I was in my first year at Western in the residence hall. I was grabbing food at the dining hall, and someone came up to me and we had a conversation, and she said, "You're actually very underwhelming." And I went, I honestly took a little bit of offense to it, because I don't know why you'd say that to someone. But also, you expect me to be in character 24/7 when I'm grabbing food. So it was just, it caught me off guard, but it's something that will always stick to me because although I took a little bit of offense to it, it's kind of true because I really don't do too much when I'm out in public or whatever. I'm never making a scene, never talking loudly. I'm always quiet, hush. So maybe she was right, but I don't know why you'd say that to someone.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that you're different than you are on TikTok, but you are not underwhelming by any means. I think you're impactful in a different way in person.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Do you find that, because I feel, okay, maybe this is a generalization. I feel like a lot of young people, they're striving to go viral. They're striving to build a following. And I understand it's because, you know, you grew up and YouTubers were so popular. Content creators were the people that you watched and the people that you looked up to. So I totally understand why there's that interest from that generation. Do you find that people might see you and might feel like, oh, I have an opportunity if I can make content with him or if I can do something or be seen with him?
I do feel like there are a lot of people like that. And those are kind of the clout chasers. And I understand where they're coming from in the sense that they probably think, oh, if I'm seen or associated with this person with a following, I'm automatically going to get a following. But from my experience, whenever I'm hanging out with friends, like non-content creator friends, and I tag them in a story post, they are not getting followers. They are not getting any clout or anything. But people are under this impression that being associated with someone with a following is automatically going to get them followers and clout. But that's honestly not how it works unless, you know, I do a series where there's, you know, a second person with me and then they do all that. But honestly, it doesn't quite work like that because people aren't interested in a content creator's someone that they tag in their story. I think it's a little bit, you know, they're wrong.
Yeah. It's like you made the effort to build the relationship with your now audience. And it's not as simple as being seen with you for someone else to all of a sudden get that relationship too.
Right, exactly. And I think there is a clear difference between people who just want a picture or whatever just to say that they met me or whatever. But then there's also people who try to say, you know, oh, can you share my post on your story or whatever? And it doesn't work like that. People aren't gonna go and listen to your song because I posted on my story. You're gonna get 10 streams max.
Yeah. Do you find that that's something that, I don't know, brings challenges? So whether you're making friends on campus or whether you're in class or you're in some other social situation with students, do you find that you kind of have to, I don't know, differentiate between people and the different intentions they might have?
That's funny because there's actually something that happened last week in regards to this. And I've honestly, as a result from these types of experiences, I've really built a wall up for myself. And I'm kind of guarded in that sense. But last week, there was someone who came up to me in one of my classes and said, hey, my name is such and such. We've had a couple classes together. I just wanted to introduce myself. Da, 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 da. And I thought that was a nice gesture because the guy had his high school crest on his jacket. And that was the same high school that both of my brothers went to. So I thought it was a genuine connection because maybe he knew me from my brothers or whatever. And so flash forward a couple hours later, I get a screenshot from my friend and this person posted on their Instagram notes that new feature. It said, I met Snarky Marky today. So it really crushed me a little bit because what was the intention behind that interaction? So that is one of the reasons why I have a guard up for myself. But it happens a lot sometimes where I'll get to know someone and then they try to pull a fast one and they're trying to, you know, gain clout off of me. And immediately they're pushed to the side, to the left. And honestly, I'm a one strike you're out type person when it comes to that. I think it's disingenuous. I think it's mean. I think it's poor intentioned. And I just don't have time for that.
I get the urge. At the same time, it's short-sighted. And it sucks because I feel like people have to learn that lesson the hard way. They're making mistakes to realize that it's short-sighted. Because I'm like, okay, I know everyone's just trying their best, but good for you for building that boundary. And I know when we met, you had also talked about like being in class and participating in class and how there's sometimes weird dynamics because people are aware of you from TikTok. So what is that like?
It's definitely tough. I feel like I have to really be so careful with my words in terms of that stuff. Not that I would say anything that's of an issue or whatever, but people love to, go on social media and twist people's words and stuff. And there was one instance in a history class where we're talking about what is history? What is a fact? And someone was talking about the Big Bang Theory or something. And I raised up my hand and I said, oh, at the end of the day, that's still a theory, that there's nothing on this planet that is a clear-cut fact, because there is that chance of, something disproving that. And here go 4 or 5 people coming for me trying to allege that I am a Big Bang Theory denier and I don't believe in evolution. When did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
When did I say that? And I feel like that happens quite frequently in those types of group discussions and tutorials. People are trying to twist my words to try and get a reaction out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what their intention is, but it's weird, and that happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's a weird minefield to have to navigate because you're just in school trying to get the class participation marks.
Exactly, because if I don't talk, then they don't give me the points. So I need to say something.
You just want to pass. You just want your degree.
Exactly. I just want to get my words in and then leave.
Oh, speaking of your degree, so what are you studying? How important is school to you?
So I study geography as my major, and then I actually just attached a minor in history to that this year. But I take my academics so seriously. I have always been someone who took my schooling very importantly. I always shoot for the stars when it comes to grades. I'm always, submitting things on time. I will always be there for participation points. I take it so seriously, and it is probably the most important thing in my life.
How did school become so important to you?
I think I get really serious validation from a high number when it comes to grades, and that kind of just fueled me. And my parents always supported me no matter what I did, whether I went to an academic background or a trade or whatever. But I think academics really suit me, and I don't think even after my undergraduate, that's the last of it. I think I'm gonna there's so many disciplines that I'm so interested in, and I wish I could get like a 6 months master degree for each of those things or whatever. But it just pains me to know that I can't get all those degrees, which I get information from and all that. I just love academics.
And why did you choose geography as your main focus right now?
So I knew going into university that my undergraduate wasn't going to be my one and only degree. And so I was kind of wavering between eventually going to law school after my undergraduate degree or business school. And from the advice that I heard, I was told to take your undergraduate in what you're passionate about. And originally, my undergraduate major was international relations, which I was kind of interested in from high school. But after the first year, I realized that everyone else was way more passionate about it and way more involved in the international relations community at Western. So I reflected back on that advice that people had given me before I went to university, and I decided geography is what I'm passionate about. At a young age, I was pointing at the countries on the map. I always loved to look at the globe. I just love learning about places and the cultures and the people and the values and the traditions of those places. So I decided to take geography as an elective first year, and I loved it. So I decided to pursue it and switch my major to geography, and it's been the best. I absolutely love the program, and the stuff that is taught is so interesting and right up my alley.
So I know you said you wanted to try doing correspondent work on a red carpet, but you said you just want that experience. So is the big dream doing something with geography?
I honestly do not even know. I've made a mental vision board about what I want to do, and I kind of want to be doing a bunch of things at once. Mm-hmm. I'd like to tie my geography education with my social media experience and maybe land a social media marketing job in the corporate social responsibility realm when it comes to climate change and stuff like that, because that is what a lot of my degree is focused on. But if I can do that and then also get a red carpet correspondent role on the side, that would be a dream come true.
Why not? Honestly, why not? And I feel like that's the entrepreneur in you talking, saying, why can't I do a bit of everything?
I know there's so much that I want to do and there's so much ground that I want to cover. It's going to be really hard to decide what to do instead of what to not do.
And especially now you've passed the milestone of you had 3 years since your initial, not your initial, but since your video that blew up, your astronomical video. When you look back at everything that's happened over the last 3 years, is there one thing where you thought, I cannot believe that that actually happened to me and I got that opportunity?
I think just the word astronomical itself, I can't believe that people actually still use that word. And it's kind of just become a slang term. And I always loved memes, and I've always been super interested in people who were memes as a child and seeing how they grow up. I always viewed it as kind of this elite club because becoming a meme is something that you can't do on your own. It requires a whole community of people to push that as a meme and use that meme. So the fact that that's happened to me, not only once, but with a couple other of my sayings, is mind-blowing to me. And that will always be something that I'm so shocked that even happened to me. That is definitely, I think, the coolest part. And with the word astronomical, there was a political science professor at the University of Memphis, and she used that saying in one of her papers, in one of her journal articles. And that was crazy to me because as someone who loves academia and loves the world of memes, the fact that it was tied together in some way is crazy. And she sent me a copy of the book that the article is in. And that's probably the coolest thing that's happened to me, to be honest.
Wait, she used that word based on you and your video?
Yes, because her article was a piece about social media and advocacy and activism. And it referred to someone, I think they use it as an example that some people at a protest used the saying of my video on one of their boards that they were holding up. And I've seen a couple people tag me in those, which is super cool as well. But just to see it in paper, hard, official, published form was crazy.
I'm sorry, but you saying that, oh, maybe I want to use my geography and my social media to do social media marketing to support climate change efforts. That is already happening if astronomical is already being used at these protests or I guess at these rallies or in this book. You're already doing it. Right.
I mean, it's just crazy how, I don't know, the dominoes have fallen into line when it comes to that. The stars have aligned. It's crazy.
So also over the past 3 years, do you find that people are interested in you and your personal life? And do you feel like there's the responsibility or the pressure to share more about you?
You know, when I first started my videos, they were solely skits. So people didn't know the person behind me, but I sort of started to post more personal content and stuff like that. And especially after my weight loss, that's just something that I opened up to my audience about. And I did that. I had no regrets with that at all. And I think a lot recently people have been invested in that and people have been really supportive of it. And I do really enjoy sharing that aspect of my life with people because it is something that a lot of people struggle with. I still struggle with it. I'm a yo-yoer. It just always seemed to happen throughout my life. And I've really been appreciating people just, checking in like, oh, how's the, fitness going or whatever. I really appreciate that. And I think that that's kind of the part of me that people like to talk about and see, which I'm totally okay with.
I feel like there's a lot of vulnerability in that. When you're filming something almost every day for years, people are able to see differences in how you look. And for whatever reason, people love to talk about the way that different people look. And I know when you first started talking about your weight loss, you actually made a lot of headlines because of the response that people initially had to it. So what happened there?
So I, through my weight loss journey online, learned a lot about the body positivity movement. Prior to that, I always kind of saw weight loss from someone my previous size. I always saw that as something impressive and something that was really looked as a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did not even expect there to be even any sort of backlash from what I did. I lost weight on my own terms. I dieted and stuck to it. And I shared it. And here go a couple people here and there trying to pick apart my rhetoric and trying to claim that what I'm pushing upon my followers is unhealthy or unsafe. And I didn't even know that those were issues. So it came as a really big shock to me because that was never my intention at all. I was just trying to share my experience, and I made it clear the entire time that this was for me. This wasn't for anybody else. I'm not trying to push these health values onto anyone else. And it was very interesting to see.
It must be a challenge being so present online and knowing that you're still a work in progress. We're all still a work in progress. We're all still learning. I know that you never have any bad intent to anything that you say. You're not going to come up to me and tell me that I'm underwhelming. You are not the type of person. And it must be a challenge to then, post something with the best of intent and then to realize, okay, I had a blind spot. Like, how do you pick up and move on after having a learning moment like that?
So honestly, the people that were the sources of the backlash only made up maybe 1% of the comments and the actual people saying negative things about me. So I listened to them. However, I still stand firm in my intention. And although I hear what they're saying and I agree with some points, there's a lot of it that I think is excessive. And I think that they're trying to put these moral stipulations and these kind of this framework onto me that I don't really align with. And I have a really hard time reasoning with those types of people. And so for the most part, I stand firm in what I did. But there are a few tidbits where I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have said it in a different way.
And I think that we're all learning, right? We're all on a journey to learning. And you heard what everybody had to say. There were some instances where you opened your eyes. There were other instances where you knew that you were doing something for the benefit of your health. And it was just a complicated situation.
Right. And I think a lot of the main, teaching points that people are trying to push on me was my misinterpretation of the term body positivity. My understanding of it was just to be positive about everyone's body. And so I thought, if I'm losing weight, shouldn't you view that as a positive if I'm happy about it? But I did learn that that is not the full definition of it, and that's not what the roots of it are. So that's definitely where I was wrong, and that was definitely a blind spot for me, but I still stand firm in the sense that you shouldn't be commenting negatively on anyone's body if they're happy about it, or in general.
It's so bizarre to me that that's, for some reason, something that is very easy for people to pick on as soon as you make yourself available on TV or online. So everyone just leave everyone else's bodies alone, please.
I know. And that was my message the whole time. Just whether I'm large, medium, small, whatever, just treat me the same. Don't treat anyone different depending on their size. Don't do any of that.
100%. And then now, as you look into 2023, what's something that you're really excited to achieve this year?
So this year, I am finishing up my third year of university, and I'm still looking for an internship or a research position. If I were to go into the internship direction, I'd definitely go into corporate internships. But then if I were to do research, it would be in the geography realm with my school. So I'm still wavering when it comes to that. So those are definitely my big goals. And I'm really excited about my fourth year of university because I do get to do a thesis, an undergraduate thesis, which involves a lot of research. And it's a really cool thing that has the chance of being published. And as someone who really appreciates and loves academia, that's a dream come true to me to be able to, or that would be a dream for me to just have something published and have my name on it. I think that would be so cool.
I love how much you light up when you're talking about school. It's so pure and exciting.
I love it. I know people People think I'm weird about it, that I like school that much, but I really find, honestly, joy in writing a good essay. I love doing some good research. I'm really proud of the work that I do, even if it doesn't get a good grade. I really love it and I really value it.
I'm excited for you for your next year and a half of undergrad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I've been experimenting playing this game. This podcast is called Happy to See Me. So I want to give you situations and you can tell me who or what you would be happy to see in this situation. So
amazing.
First, I know you're a Real Housewives fan. So who would you be happy to see as a new Real Housewife?
Oh, that's like someone who's not on the show who could.
Yeah.
There is. Honestly, one of my cousins could work. She lives in New Jersey, and I've always said that she'd be really good on Real Housewives of New Jersey. But there's also this one other professor that I think she could fully fit on the Real Housewives, and I'm obsessed with her, or on Big Brother or something. She's just everything, and she just fits a reality TV persona, and I think she needs to go on.
Okay, get her on. Move her from academia to reality TV. Let's go.
I know. I need her on it. I say that every class. I'm like, this woman has the absolute full package. She needs to be on something.
Okay, let's say you get on the school bus. Who would you be happy to see sitting in the seat in the front row?
Oh, could this be a celebrity or something?
Yeah, it could be anybody.
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, since it's a school setting, I would have to say, I know this is such a wild card thing to say, but Bridget Mendler. So she was on, obviously, Good Luck Charlie, and she's released a whole studio album, but she's very involved in her academia herself. Mm-hmm. She went to Harvard and I think is at MIT right now, and she's just killing it. I'd like to pick her brain and kind of just see what it's like to balance the entertainment world and the academic world. I think that would be such a cool conversation to be had. Okay,
so you get on the bus, you see Bridget in the front row, but let's say you're not in an academic mood and you walk to the back seat of the bus. Who would you be happy to see in the back seat of the bus?
Okay, that's a good one. Let's just say Nene Leakes.
That's amazing.
Love her. I think obviously she's the queen of memes. And as an aspiring queen of memes, mm-hmm. I would like to pick her brain on that topic too.
She would be amazing.
I know. I feel like she'd be such a fun person to hang out with. And I think her and I would get along so well.
For sure. For sure. Okay, so what would you be happy to see as the next country you visit?
Like which country I want to visit next?
Yeah.
Honestly, Thailand. I would love to go to Thailand and see all those islands, OPP. I want to see all of it.
Yes, go to the full moon party. Jump rope with the fire jump rope or whatever people do.
Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. I love Thai culture. I love Thailand. And it's just, I want to go there so bad.
Oh yeah, it can happen for sure. Okay, last one. You walk into lecture. It's the first day of a new semester. Who would you be happy to see as your prof? And it can be anyone.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to say Nene Leakes again. I think that she could teach a master class on shade. I think she could teach a master class on memes. Mm-hmm. And I would be seated happily for that lecture.
Oh yeah, I think if she was there, I would be front row, taking notes, phone off. Anything you say, let's absorb it. Let's go.
Me too. I think there's a lot of wisdom that comes from her. And just as someone who is a meme, I respect it 100%.
From meme to meme.
Yes, from meme to meme. I aspire to be her level of meme.
Mark, thank you for chatting today. I loved talking to you. Can you tell people where to find you, what's next, all of those things?
Yeah, so you can find me on TikTok at Snarky Marky. That's the main platform that I use because it's just the easiest and the most casual. I can't do the formal stuff. So TikTok's where to find me the most. I have a side account, Astronomical Boy, where I spam a little bit on there. There's not a lot of stuff there, but those are my main two. And what's next for me? I'm continuing on with school, hopefully landing an internship this summer, and I'm still going to be pumping out content.
Amazing. I can't wait to see what you do next. Mark, thank you for chatting today.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Love you, bestie. It was astronomical.
Love you too, bestie.